Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection. We're coming to you live from the Ligony Club in Kingston, Jamaica. It really is our great pleasure to be on air this morning. Lots of drama. I'd like to pretend that we started at our usual time, but we are pleased to be here and we're sorry that you would wondering what happened to Minett and Percy on Thursday morning, free-flowing Thursday at the Ligony Club. It's even a little more free-flowing this morning. So we're here with you now, and it is a pleasure. To those who are on air, to those who are online, we welcome you back at the studio. We say good morning, Lloyd. Thanks for keeping the music flowing while we were delayed in getting set up here at the club, while we were sorting ourselves out, says the producer. And to the producer, thank you so much for getting us up in record time. Pastor Percy, you were here in time to do some of the heavy lifting. Bless God for that. How are you this morning?
I'm very good. Very good. Giving thanks. It was a good day yesterday. In terms of seeing my mother and seeing my father-in-law.
Oh, so you made it into
Yeah, man.
a family experience.
Michelle was there, so we said, let's do that. That was good.
And you had time driving to the country with the wife?
Yeah, we did. So
Beautiful day.
It was a good day to be alive and a good day to be at the funeral, to just
Listen, that could have been me. Bless God, I'm still here.
Yeah, but interestingly, the person who shared the message, one of our other pastors, because we were doing the funeral for the pastor of.
You were one of the officiating ministers?
Yes, I was one of the officiating. But it was good. I do funerals a lot of time, and I often hear me say I'm going to do a funeral and a wedding and things. But anyway, it was a funeral yesterday, not a wedding. But the great thing that I just loved about it was the concept of legacy. Legacy. Here it was that this gentleman, 2 years younger than my mom, when he passed, and everybody was there. People flowing from overseas, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, everybody. And just what they said about him. Yesterday, I heard the word daddyism.
Oh, that's a new.
Daddyism.
That's a new one.
And I think his oldest son coined that expression, daddyism, which is he had favorite sayings that he would say to them. And he was somebody who was a giving person. And some of the times, even when his son was given the eulogy, he said, Daddy, I fool you, make them steal like that. And he says, okay, that's all right. There is a God up in heaven who is a God of justice. So I don't choose to take my vengeance on them now. I do the best that I can. I represent my God as best as I can, and he will deal with the final consequence. And so one of his daddyism was, make sure you be a wise person in yourself, Don't make anybody turn you fool. That was one of his daddyism. And even just sharing and just the testimony of his children, of his nephews, his nieces, his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren. I'm going, wow. And it's a simple, people say simple Jamaican. They never have no whole lot of money, but he was a generous man. Generous to a fault, because he was a farmer too. And he would grow his stuff, give it away to people, just bless people that way. And that just bless me, if there's such a word. I was just so...
You're creating a Percyism.
No, it just blessed me. And I'm saying, that is what you call legacy. And the word of God, which says that if you do good, your children will reap that blessing that you probably never had in your time. But
the seed of the righteous will not beg
bread
for bread.
Never did.
Cake maybe, but not bread.
But it was good. It was good. It was so good. I was glad that I was able to share in the moment. And when she asked me initially, I said, Lord, they're going to take out all of the day.
Oh, and it did, but in a wonderful way.
And so, and the other thing is, my friend, I've known her for the last 30 30 odd years, over a generation, because we're at university together. That's when I met her first. She's very short. Short, not more than 5 feet tall. Every time we see her, we always say to her, it's a short. It's a short. It's not more than 5 feet. She say, I'm not short of anything. I said, that's what one of her is in. So I say, got that from your father. People come and you can do that. So, yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time and place to be. And then the fact that I got to see my father, I call him daddy. My wife's husband, but I call him daddy.
Your wife's
my wife's father, because I'm the husband, right? And I call him daddy, and he's 80. He's 80 years old. And
you should call him daddy. Your daddy.
Daddy's my daddy. And then I saw my mom.
Your dad has passed on.
Yeah, and my mom. Yeah, that was good. So it was a good time.
The patriarch.
Yes, the patriarch and the matriarch.
Yeah, right. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Her dad survived and your mom survived. Yeah. So you have, your children have a grandparent from each.
And my mother has a wife. And so we said, well, your wife is dead, my husband. We can't get married, so we just do a thing. So
we're married through our children. Your son is married to my daughter. We're married. It is done.
Yeah, so family. We always speak about it and pray about it. And then also Malachi says in the last days, the Lord will turn the hearts of the father back to the children. I see a lot of that happening, that people are just recognizing, understanding the importance of family, of the family network, that causes us to be strong as individuals.
But the word father, which we tend to focus on the biological genetic relationship, but father meaning source.
Bess100 FM, broadcasting live in all 14 parishes. Hanover 100.5, 100.9, St. James 100.9, Trelawney 100.3, 100.9, St. Anne 100.3, 100.5, St. Mary 100.5, Westmoreland 100.1, 100.5, St. Elizabeth 100.1, 100.5, Manchester 100.1, 100.5, Clarendon 100.1, 100.5, 100.9, St. Catherine 100.5 100.9, St. Andrew 100.5 100.9, St. Thomas 100.5 and 100.9. Bess FM, giving you the better vibe.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Things, because I found that a lot of times we begin to address issues ahead of.
Yeah. Just one thing before you go there.
Yeah.
I just want to comment on something I saw at the championship last night.
Mm-hmm. And
There
this
was
is the best time.
Yeah, because one of the thing that just came out to me when this young lady, Alana Reed, she won the 100 meter in 10.92. She won the race. Where she went, she made a beeline in the stands to her mom. Mommy, I did it. Yeah, and her mom has been her greatest support. Her mom and her dad. The same thing for the young man who won it. He went and he embraced his mom and he spoke about the journey and the support that was there for him in terms of what he went through. I never want to miss that point because we often see these stars and we miss out on for them to be there. So congratulations to Alana Reed. She won 10.92, which is just phenomenal, and congratulations to Nkume Buwaji, he's Jamaican, in terms of what they've done. And he spoke so eloquently about his parents and the support that he's gotten from the person on about him. Over back to you, my dear.
I don't remember what I was talking about.
You were talking about submission.
Halfway
Submission. No,
through
man. You know what you're talking, the submission. You just missed me, just the source. And you were talking about source and the implications that it has had in terms of how we are doing with our structures and our systems being set up in terms of the headline. Yeah. You're going to Mr. Three Strike and he's out.
Who is that?
Every time he's gone to the Constitutional Court, he's lost.
Percy, I think you need to handle this one. I can't take responsibility for that. Is it so? Is that a part of the coverage that every time the Prime Minister has been taken to the carpet before the Constitutional Court, he has lost?
He's lost.
So you said 3 strikes.
No.
So what are the 3? Let's see. Remind me.
So the first one was with the Senate.
Oh, that letter. The resignation, right? Yes, I know that one.
And this one.
The second one was NIDS. Would you say NIDS was him too?
NIDS was him.
Yeah. And then here comes number 3. Mr. Bernard. The Gleaner is very artful in the photos that it finds because there is Mr. Bernard looking lovingly at the Prime Minister, who doesn't have a very loving look on his face. And it seems that the victor's crown goes to Mr. Bernard. The court having ruled that a recommendation to reassign Mr. Bernard was unconstitutional. But we were starting with the Integrity Commission because as we speak about the hearts of the fathers being returned to give favorable recognition to the children and appreciating that father is source. And source don't have to be biological.
No.
And source can also be institutional.
That's correct.
So government as source will come to a time when the heart is turned back to the children, the nation of citizens looking to government for good management, good governance, and for proper distribution of certain goods and services or benefits which would come to the citizens. The time will come when the hearts will be turned back. Now it says it happens in the last days, which to me sounds like this is as we are looking to embrace the manifestation of the kingdom of God, which is the everlasting government. You will see. And when you think about it logically, there has to be a repentance and a shifting of things.
There has to be.
Before the kingdom of God, the government of God manifests, because its manifestation occurs through a partnership between man and God.
True.
Human agency is very important.
Correct.
In bringing it to the fore. One of the institutions in our country, many countries around the world, use integrity watchdogs, both state operated and civil society, volunteers, whatever, non-governmental organizations that play a role in keeping integrity and ensuring that corruption in all its many forms is eliminated, exposed, scrutinized, kept to a minimum, at the very least. For Jamaica, it's the Integrity Commission. Our Integrity Commission has had a very troubled birth passage, because we started with the Contractor General, remember? And of course, we have other, affiliated agencies that play a role in making sure people are qualified for contracts, application processes, and procurement processes are of the finest order. And then, who will bell the cat? It's always the question of who keeps a watch on the behavior, the conduct, the performance of the politicians, the power brokers, the ones who, for want of any other system, would be untouchables. They could do as they like. But in a democracy, in a parliamentary democracy, no one is above the law, borrowing from the headline too. So you always need a state-run agency that does that body of work. Our Integrity Commission has been under flack, both from the citizens and now from the parliamentarians.
And why is that so? Because the citizens are being saying it need more teeth.
And the parliamentarians are saying,
we want to take out the teeth.
Teeth.
Yeah.
Come all the way.
And it is so unfortunate, because remember when we went and made that presentation, the person who is calling for inquiry was there, because
Minister Chuck.
Mr. Chuck was there. It was chaired by Edmund Bartlett, who I think did a good job in terms of moderating well, and said, we want to hear what the people are saying. And this is what. And to hear Mr. Chuck, remember he asked an interesting question.
Yes.
That was him who says, can the Integrity Commission,
the Integrity Commission be able allowed
to do
reopen
investigation
of closed statutory declarations which are closed because they were already published?
Yes.
Can they revisit matters that were signed off in those declarations?
Yes. And to see what they do, what we waste money for a commission of inquiry for. That to me, remember, it is deny, deflect, destroy. That in itself, let's call it what it is to deflect from what the real issue is.
So then next step is to destroy the Integrity Commission.
And then
to write it out of existence.
Like what they did with the political ombudsman. Let us call it out, and I'm calling on church leaders as a pastor. Come on, people. Talking for the JCC, Evangelical Alliance, all the persons that are there, the full gospel churches, the umbrella grouping that includes everybody. Come on, people, we need to speak about these issues. This is about corruption, and corruption is about justice. And the God that we serve is a God who says that righteousness exalts a nation and sin is a reproach. Let us call out the politicians, the power brokers, and this one. Leave the Integrity Commission alone. Because we know, as Jamaicans, corruption is a major thing. It eats away at the very fabric of our society. And we can do something about it. All right? So when Mr. Chuck, same Chuck calling on the church to do more, come on, we must do more. Do the right thing. This is the more you must do. This is the more you must do. Stop.
All right, let's look at technically what is going on, because you need to have a right understanding of it if you're coming out to support or not to support. At the moment, the government side seems quite flustered and concerned about the manner in which the report concerning the Prime Minister's alleged misconduct was handled. Now, this is an issue which we have addressed the commission, the Parliamentary Commission on. Oh, we're on a break? We're actually on the break. All right, let's take the break. It's 7:31. We'll return to it in a moment.
We'll be right back.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
We are something special on the road.
Bess100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up Show with Lascelles Butch Chen on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing worth in our maturing years, compellingly defined to educate and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. I invite you to join us for the Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ radio program with Elder Kendrick Murray, where we stand firm that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. This broadcast is heard every Saturday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. and again on Sundays from 4 to 5 p.m. The church is located at 3550 Pleasant Valley Road here in Mobile, Alabama in the United States. You may visit our website at sonofgodlives.org or our YouTube page at Minister K. Murray. Or you may call us at area code 251-300-8812. God bless you, and we look forward to you tuning in to the program.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how do I take taxi style?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Yeah, try and call, cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
Half a tree. One already, 200. Ready, mama? Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats. Best.
Welcome back to the Morning Connection, and thank you for sticking with us. Again, we say good morning to those on air and online. We are at the Ligony Club this morning because that is how Thursdays go for us. We get to be outdoors in the fresh air, and it is a beautiful day. The mangoes are falling. So
yes, it was falling mangoes this morning.
Don't be surprised if you see something fall. But on Thursday mornings, we are hosted by our Ligony Club family. Ligony Club is it is most definitely the largest sporting facility in the Caribbean under one roof. We have squash courts, tennis courts, swimming facilities, a full-service gymnasium, and some hotel rooms to boot. So if you're in Jamaica, if you're in Kingston on business or to visit family, it's a wonderful, quiet, beautiful spot. And there you will be taken care of by JD's Urban Pub. They provide wonderful Jamaican cuisine, the best of the traditional Jamaican breakfast.
And that's true. And on a Wednesday they have a lobster.
Oh, right now they are doing during the Lenten season. They're doing a very moderately priced lobster seafood meals on Wednesdays, and on Fridays they do shrimp.
Okay.
Yeah.
So lobster on Wednesday, shrimp on Friday.
Wednesday, shrimp on Friday.
Yes.
So yeah, check out JD's Urban Pub. You will certainly not be sorry that you made the investment.
Okay.
But this morning, of course, Pastor Percival and I have started off just looking at some of the issues happening locally, being very aware that a main issue for Jamaica is the business of governance, wanting to see governance maintained in the management of our affairs. And one of the institutions set up by government to accomplish that is the Integrity Commission. It is the successor to the Contractor General,
yes.
The Office of the Contractor General.
It's a merger. It's a merger of
a merger than a disappearance. Yes. It internalized, it cannibalized. So now we have a set of commissioners who are appointed by government and have the business of safeguarding the integrity of our nation's public officers. They have been in the news most recently because of an imbroglio.
Yes. What is an imbroglio? A contention?
Cascas.
A cascas. We in Jamaica we say one cascas.
Because of the cascas.
Yes, because of some issues with
surrounding
the Prime Minister's something that happened 2006 to 2009 when he was Minister of Education.
A report was published.
Yes.
Stating that the Prime Minister had been under investigation concerning alleged acts of impropriety, influence.
On contracts.
Concerning contracts awarded to a connected person and so on and so forth. There's no denying that the person was in fact well known to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister's defense of his conduct brought a number of things into play. One, that this is like a 14-year-old matter which today could not be prosecuted fairly because a recommendation had been made for the Prime Minister to be referred for prosecution, and it created quite a stir, and there were calls for him to step away, and all kinds of different things were happening in the political arena. And then the very next day, a report was published that a ruling had in fact been made by the Integrity Commission's own Director of Prosecution that it would not
be in the good. Right.
It would not recommend or ask the DPP to prosecute the Prime Minister for these alleged improprieties, and the Prime Minister's defense that it was too old was one of the reasons. The Director of Prosecution saying that at this late stage, it seemed unlikely that a successful prosecution could be mounted.
But however, the backdrop to that whole thing with the Prime Minister was that his submission for the year ending 2021 could not be gazetted.
So when you say backdrop, it's not the backdrop to the actual investigation.
No, but
the investigation was of matters from
long
2014 or not 20, whatever, some old case.
2006, 2009.
2006, 2009, right. You are so right, though, in citing that matters pertaining to any allegation of impropriety on the part of the Prime Minister must always and will always be looked at within the context of current day behavior.
Yeah.
And I think that really is the issue.
Yes, that's what it is.
If it were a Prime Minister who was compliant on all fours with current regulations, people would have said, But what you're looking at now is a Prime Minister whose behavior today raises question about his carefulness in minding the rules of play.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing him being given a pass in relation to something that happened a long time ago. And, those of us who are parents well know that if you don't curb the behavior early o'clock, it just matures and becomes something uglier.
There's a principle that we speak to. It says, talent will take you to the top, but character that will keep you there. And we have to examine behavior in that light. I think it's from where I'm sitting, unfortunately, and not coming in judgment or so on, but you can only comment on what you see being played out. Because, all right, here is a Prime Minister who, when he was Prime Minister for the first time, he asked people to pre-sign letters to say that they should resign. And one of his own tested it in court and said it was what? Unconstitutional.
Okay, so one of his own?
Yes, because it was his own.
His own?
It means somebody from his party, somebody from his party who took him to court and said no. And it went to the court and the court ruled in the aggrieved party's favor. That's what it said, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Williams.
Yeah.
And then the Prime Minister again palliated the needs. And Mr. Julian Robinson, acting on behalf of himself and persons, took it to the Constitutional Court, and it was thrown out. Said, no, man. The way that it is constituted in its present form, it can't fly because it will go against persons what it is. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, again, Mr. Bernard, and Mr. Bernard is a...
No, don't move on yet because we want to, I thought we were gonna, let's explain what it is that, the change that is being proposed for the Integrity Commission. I really would like persons to understand.
No, I'm not moving on. I'm just giving the backdrop in terms of the trees.
The backdrop can be so big that it overwhelms what is in the foreground.
And then now,
the
corruption that is at because remember, he was moved out of the way. This is related to the royal reading, they're moving because they said, no, we can't sign this in our fairness.
All right.
And they did that thing anyway.
Yeah.
Press ahead, Press ahead.
I want to, you understand what they're asking for to happen to the commission, the Integrity Commission?
Yeah.
What the issue is? If you remember, we talked about the independence of the commission.
Right.
The Integrity Commission is a commission of Parliament.
Correct.
So it answers to Parliament.
True.
What's happening in Israel is the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
The judiciary, the Supreme Court, does not answer to Parliament.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you have two separate systems operating.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a constitution which creates an order.
Okay.
Because under the doctrine of separation of powers, which is embedded in the Constitution, there is a remit for what the judiciary does and how it can operate, and Parliament has its jurisdiction, and Parliament is the ultimate source of power and authority in the country. It's not the court. The court is just one amongst the checks and balances, a significant one, but the court cannot.
That's in Israel.
No, in Jamaica.
In Jamaica.
In Jamaica, the court cannot operate outside of what Parliament says or does.
Correct.
In Israel, they don't have a constitution. So the court can decide on anything. It can, you see, we can say this law is unconstitutional. They'll just say that this law is illegal.
Okay.
They wouldn't say unconstitutional because there's no constitution against which to measure it.
Okay. Interesting.
So what will happen is their parliament could pass a law, and the court could strike down the law
itself. Oh my Lord.
Yeah, because they don't strike it down against any measure.
Oh, then kind of say
this law is
foolishness.
This is foolishness.
That's awesome part for a judiciary.
For a judiciary to have. Would we like that?
I don't think so.
Where the people who you vote in to make decisions and laws can make the decision, and a group of men or women, wherever, could say, that decision there make no sense.
So you can't move anything.
So
that is why. Oh,
that's the overhaul he's trying to accomplish.
Oh my Lord!
And it is bringing up
a lot of things.
I
read an interesting article about that, but you present that.
So right now, here's where we are with the Integrity Commission. The Integrity Commission has the capacity to destabilize a government if it really begins to investigate and call to account those members of the government who are corrupt, misbehaving, acting outside. Just think about it. Think about it. The Integrity Commission could set a code of conduct and say, this is the standard of behavior. Those who breach it cannot continue on the field. Just imagine a referee who has a very, very punitive, heavy hand. As a player step out the line, card. Before you know it, only 2 men are left on the team.
They're not so full though, anyway.
Yeah, no, you use the word full line. No, but just envision what I'm saying.
I see what you're saying.
The Integrity Commission is like a referee who could reduce the team to shambles by taking out the best players because those players infringe the rules
of the game.
The game, yes, that's what I'm telling you. So just imagine.
You don't think anything wrong with that?
I don't think anything is wrong with that.
All right.
What you want is an Integrity Commission that has integrity.
Okay.
So they don't.
They set the rules that you have set, and everybody agrees. See, that is why the code of conduct was so important.
Code of conduct is important.
Yeah. You know what the rules of the games are. So it is your responsibility to ensure that you behave according to the rules.
Absolutely. So now, here's what has happened. In our submission, we say that the Integrity Commission is one of the institutions which will build confidence in the integrity of the government. If the Integrity Commission is doing its job properly, people can say, well, if anything did wrong with it, the Integrity Commission would have said it. When they make a ruling, people look at it and say, well, that's fair. So they actually play a role in maintaining confidence and the dignity of what people are doing in the public space.
And that's important,
It's very important.
A cry for many, many years that people are saying, no, man.
So now, here's what has happened. When the Integrity Commission published a report that says the Prime Minister is alleged to have done something wrong, people jump on it and say, well, these are a good set of people who look at the thing, so something must be wrong. Then the next day when they say, but having considered it, he did nothing wrong, or having considered it, we don't think it rises to the level for him to be prosecuted. The parliamentarians should be saying, well, these well-thinking men have come to the right conclusion. There's no malice. But look what is happening.
You think there was malice?
They are saying there is malice, and we need to change the rules to ensure that before you say a man is being investigated, if you already know that you're not going to take it any further, you should say it all at the same time so he's not exposed to any kind of disfavor in the public's mind. And then tomorrow now, people might even when you exonerate him, people might say, that's what is hotting up the air.
But the advocates had said that the report I was given on the fact that they had policy that it can't go far because of the length of time and so on.
Doesn't exonerate him.
Don't exonerate him. So,
yet a lot of airtime and mental space is being taken up discussing whether or not the Integrity Commission behaved unfairly towards the Prime Minister.
But are there rules that them set in terms of the thing you can't?
Yes, so now they want to change the rules so that because it made the Prime Minister look bad, and then now talking about the country. You don't think the number of people being killed in this country make we look bad?
No.
You think a story about the Prime Minister is what makes Jamaica look bad?
No. Because everybody in the street have been saying that even, I tell you, I wonder if they're listening to what the people are saying in the street. Because I got when we went and we made that presentation, I had an impression to say that these people sit here, they're making laws, they say on our behalf, but they're so disconnected from a reality that is in the street. Like, okay, I was reading Mr. Robinson. I find him comical at times.
Entertaining.
Very entertaining, but he makes some very salient and incisive points. He says, they looked at if there were 4 speakers in the budget debate. The opposition leader, the opposition spokesperson on finance, the Prime Minister, and the Minister of Finance. And he says, these people not getting it, He says, in our Jamaican, white squalls reaching everybody mouth. In white squalls, people are suffering. And they're talking about macroeconomic policy. Do they recognize that since the pandemic, that people's living conditions and inflation are so eaten away at people's livelihood that they really have to wheel and come again? When you're making these ideas about these big projects that we know, those of us who understand project management, not going to become a reality not for the next 3-4 years.
And therefore will not affect
the price of bread. Yes.
Yeah.
And he says there's a disconnect. He says to his own mind, the person who captured it best was Julian in terms of what he took and was explaining what had happened in regards to, so I'm saying, okay.
Well, what I kind of like about this noise is that the Prime Minister and others like him are finally getting a taste of what the rest of us have to live with. Here's a question that Mr. Chuck put to Executive Director, Mr. Christie. He asked Christie whether he felt it was appropriate for him to retweet a Reuters report having knowledge that the ruling had said that a case against the Prime Minister should not be pursued. However, Christie defended the Commission's social media policy, noting that the anti-corruption body retweets the work of the Commission. As a report comes out, we retweet on it, Christie said. So all of this, is because some feel that the Prime Minister was unduly embarrassed by an accurate report concerning the work of the Commission. How are we even going to know the Commission is doing any work if we don't see the fruit of it? Yes.
I remember there was a big to-do about the gag order when we went there.
Yeah.
The Commissioner was saying we need to be able to release the thing.
Yes.
But you see, they follow the rules, We go through Parliament, and then we go through Parliament again.
Yes. Well, no change to that. In fact, all of the Commission's investigations should be available. If not published abroad, it should be available to those who want to seek it out, so you can know what is on the books. When decisions are made, the decisions should be published. If our submissions hold the day, we will see a different operation in the Commission where you don't have to wait until Parliament gives you the go-ahead to say what you are doing. You're doing it at the expense of the taxpayer, so the taxpayer should know what you're doing. And commissioners have to be trusted. They have to be trusted to work in a professional and in a just way, so they're not just raising up airy-fairy complaints.
And they're not like that, you know. These men are measured.
There's a lot more that they should be doing. The Prime Minister is lucky, because if all the complaints were to be logged,
and you can go see,
and you could see, yes, absolutely.
So you put ourselves in there, because you remember, and then you use Parliament as cover, because a lot of things are said in Parliament. You can't like somebody say, come outside, like I see all right, come outside, come defend it. Let me go to the street, because you use a cover of Parliament to say all manner of things. Me take it to you. Come out to the street, come say that again, and see what me do to you.
Yeah.
Because that has happened to you, hasn't it?
Personally?
In terms of people saying things in the
horrible
cover of
things being said under the
cover of Parliament.
And the thing is so bitter is that one parliamentarian has suggested that the Integrity Commission should lose its parliamentary privilege of being insulated from suit when it does its work. How could that possibly be? It would mean then that all parliamentarians should lose their privilege of when they
speak things in Parliament.
Absolutely.
Because you see, and the thing is, I am more in favor of the Integrity Commission remaining the way that it is, and even getting greater power.
Yeah. Yes. That's definitely where we are.
Yeah. And listen to, and they need to listen, because the trust deficit is so
great.
That anything you say, them take it with a grain of, it's not a pinch of salt, you know. It's like a pound of salt.
It's stroke level.
Yeah.
Well, now to the point that you were teasing us with.
Yes. It means 3 strikes.
From before. You said 3 strikes. Would that it were so. The court has ruled that the reassignment of Permanent Secretary Bernard, they've ruled it unconstitutional, and you can tell the changing of the wind, you know, because the headline has gone to the extent of pointing out that the reassignment was recommended by Mr. Holness.
I'm recommended for you.
Court rules Holness recommended reassignment of Bernard unconstitutional.
But when did he reassign him? Because he wasn't Minister of Education and was Prime Minister at that point in time. Because the Minister of Education at that point in time was Royal Reid.
Dean Roy Bernard says that the ruling sends a message: no one is above the law.
You're operating with like to set the law.
Yes, the court ruled that his reassignment to a created post by the Holness administration was unconstitutional. In its judgment on Wednesday, the Supreme Court said that Bernard's reassignment to the position of Director General in the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service was unconstitutional.
I know exist a post in it.
They made it up just to park him in it. Further, the court noted that the post was created in February 2020 and gazetted 10 months later in December 2020, more than a year after Bernard was assigned to the position. What's his name? They have it spelled here as Bernard, and they have it as B-E-R. They have Barnard.
It's Bernard.
Or Bernard.
It's Bernard.
And they have Bernard. Who's Bernard?
It's Bernard.
Okay. Bernard, who was appointed as Permanent Secretary of the Education Ministry in November 2016, was reassigned in February 2019. The Office of the Services Commission informed him in a letter that the Governor General, on the recommendation of Prime Minister Andrew Holness, had approved the reassignment.
You know,
I see you put your hand on your hip. Oh God, I wish you guys could see Percy's pose.
Hello.
You've had it.
No, man.
They've gone too far.
Yeah, but so what has happened? You know, listen, what's happening? It's the corruption of a lot of institutions. You raised that yesterday.
Yeah.
Because of political expediency. Because he was at the center of the fallout that is happening at the Ministry of Education in terms of Auditor General.
From Royal Reid right down to Grace McLean.
Yes, and he was the guy who said, we can't sign this as we come up on the break.
Every time you're ready to dive into it,
Come up on the
You know, I
break.
think the producer is working
You
against
think
you.
so? Yeah.
I really think
That's
so.
all right. That's okay. He's just doing his job.
Yes, it's time for us to take our break.
So.
You're simply the best, better than all the rest, better than anyone I ever met. You're simply the best.
Bess FM-100 on your dial. Keep listening.
BBC News. Hello, this is Jerry Smith. Brazil's far-right former president Jair Bolsonaro has returned to his home country after 3 months of self-imposed exile in the United States. A plane carrying the ex-leader landed in the capital, Brasilia. He's denied he plans to lead the opposition to the leftist government of Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, who defeated him in October's general election. Leandro Prazeres reports from the Brazilian capital.
This is the first time Bolsonaro is back in Brazil since his supporters invaded the presidential palace, the National Congress, and the Supreme Court on the 8th of January, an episode that has been compared to the invasion of the Capitol in the United States during President Donald Trump's government. Mr. Bolsonaro flew to Florida in December, refusing to recognize his defeat in the presidential election and to transfer the presidential sash to his successor, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. Now in Brazil, he faces several legal challenges, including an investigation into whether he incited the rioters to storm the government buildings.
The US newspaper Wall Street Journal has said it's deeply concerned for the safety of one of its reporters who's been arrested in central Russia. The country's domestic security service, the FSB, earlier confirmed that the journalist Evan Gershkovich was detained in the city of Yekaterinburg and accused of spying. Our Russia editor Steve Rosenberg reports.
The FSB accused the Wall Street Journal reporter of unlawful activity and said he was suspected of espionage in the interests of the US government. It claimed that Mr. Gershkovich was collecting classified information about a Russian defense plant. In Russia, the charge of espionage carries a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. The Wall Street Journal said it vehemently denied the FSB allegations and that it was seeking Mr. Gershkovich's release. It called him a trusted and dedicated reporter. President Putin's spokesman claimed the journalist had been caught red-handed. Evan Gershkovich is the first reporter for an American news outlet since the Cold War to be charged with espionage.
4 bank executives who helped a close associate of President Putin move millions of dollars through a Swiss branch of a Russian bank have been found guilty of a lack of due diligence. The case centers on money deposited by the Russian musician Sergei Ruldugin. Imogen Folks reports.
The judge in the Zurich court said it was beyond doubt that Russian musician Sergei Ruldugin was not the true owner of the money he deposited. The 4 bankers who opened the accounts should have asked questions. They failed to do this and have been found guilty of violating Switzerland's due diligence laws. This case has big implications. If the money wasn't Sergei Ruldugin's, whose was it? He is a known close friend of Vladimir Putin's. The Russian president, now under Western sanctions, is rumoured to have vast wealth, some of it invested abroad.
You're listening to World News from the BBC. Coast Guards in the Philippines are continuing rescue efforts after a fire on board a passenger ferry killed nearly 30 people, including a baby. Dozens of passengers have been rescued after jumping overboard, but officials say some drowned. The MV Lady Mary Joy was sailing overnight from Zamboanga City to Sulu Province. The head of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, has warned that China's ruling Communist Party intends to change the international order systematically to put China at its centre. In a wide-ranging speech, she said Beijing was moving from an era of what she called reform and opening to one of security and control. Ms von der Leyen said that EU countries had to reduce the risks of economic trade with Beijing.
While imbalances are growing, most of our trade in goods and services remains mutual beneficial and unrisky. But our relationship is unbalanced and increasingly affected by distortions created by China's state capitalist system. So we need to rebalance this relationship on the basis of transparency, predictability, and reciprocity.
State media in Syria says that Israel launched a number of missiles at targets in the vicinity of Damascus that left 2 soldiers wounded. It's reportedly the 5th Israeli strike on Syria this month. There's been no comment from the Israeli authorities. Protesters have clashed with riot police in parts of the Kenyan capital Nairobi during the latest demonstrations organised by opponents of President William Ruto. There were running battles as demonstrators set tires ablaze and used improvised catapults to launch stones. Police have been deployed to stop what the government has called a descent into anarchy. The demonstrators are being led by the opposition leader Raila Odinga over the escalating cost of living. BBC News.
Bess100 FM, broadcasting live in all 14 parishes. Hanover 100.5, 100.9. St. James 100.9, Trelawney 100.3, 100.9, St. Anne 100.3, 100.5, St. Mary 100.5, Westmoreland 100.1, 100.5, St. Elizabeth 100.1, 100.5, Manchester 100.1, 100.5, Clarendon 100.1, 100.5, 100.9. St. Catherine 100.5, 100.9. St. Andrew 100.5, 100.9. St. Thomas 100.5 and 100.9. Bess FM, giving you the better vibe.
We'll be right back.
Vejan Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vejan Printers, your best choice in printing.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
We are something special on the road.
Hey everybody, Apostle Prophetess Dr. Juliet Fagan here. I've got some good news for you. Many of you have asked and God has delivered. Guess what? Join me this and every Sunday. That's right, this and every Sunday evening, 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. Catch me right here on Bess100 FM. That's right. On Friend of a Wounded Heart, an extension of Vision Miracle Church of God. And so on behalf of Bishop Leroy, myself, and all the brethren of Vision Miracle Church of God, I'm looking forward to having you Sundays, 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. right here on Bess FM 100.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Half a tree, 100, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi style?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. You hear me? Call them at 929-7040. or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
I try calling her, cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats. Best FM.
Welcome back. We are speaking about the impact of this ruling by the Constitutional Court that the reassignment of Permanent Secretary Dean Roy Bernard, who was apparently put in Jamaica's own Siberia, especially created.
Siberia, you call it? Oh, wow.
Especially
Some people
created.
just call it Never Never Land.
Siberia, man. That's where you send
In Russia, they send people when people are getting it. It's a serious place.
Yeah, man, they put it
Siberia is a
Siberia.
very cold place, you know.
No-
Unfriendly place.
No socialization. for
Nothing
you.
with anybody at all. At least the
So a job was made up for him, a position in the Ministry of Finance. It had no job description. This is what the court said. The court says he's in a newly created position that does not have a defined job description. I find that the reassignment of the claimant did not allow him to assume the duties and responsibility of a ministry as mandated by the Constitution. I therefore find that the reassignment of the claimant to Director General in the Ministry of Finance was unconstitutional.
Wow.
On the matter of natural justice, the judge said that he did not find there had been any breach of natural justice as it related to the reassignment of Bernard. I do not find that this was a demotion, nor does it amount to a disciplinary action. I therefore find that there would have been no requirement to convene a hearing in those circumstances and so on. She did say that it's questionable whether or not the Prime Minister, whether or not the Governor General, acting on the recommendation of the Prime Minister, could transfer a permanent secretary from one ministry to another. So that does smack of political manipulation, where the Governor General, again, displaying that he's only a rubber stamp, would sign something based on a recommendation by the Prime Minister.
Not knowing.
To reassign a lowly permanent secretary, I mean, I said lowly because one would expect that the Prime Minister would be dealing with ministers and, cabinet appointees and ambassador plenipotentiaries. Wouldn't expect him to be applying his mind to the reassignment of a permanent secretary, especially when you're not actually reassigning them to another ministry. You're actually moving them to a made-up position in a small room in the basement so that they can be taken out of service in the ministry where they were actually serving.
Yeah, but
that sounds like political manipulation of one sort or another. And thankfully, the Constitution recognized that permanent secretaries are the technical heart and soul
of any ministry. Yeah, the chief financial
and
officer.
they cannot be moved based on the political winds and waves. They ought not to be, because they are the ones who guarantee continuity and accountability in a ministry.
But I know of it started a long time ago in terms of us talking to if there's a word of a political hack or somebody who is an activist was saying that that something started a long time ago where they were the permanent secretaries, the ministers were politicized because of how they moved the permanent secretaries
Yes,
about.
man.
Because if you don't like this person, because the permanent secretary is a person has been there and understand
That's
how
the
it works.
institutional memory and expertise
Yes.
for the ministry.
And if you come and you want to put something on it, on the permanent secretary, so you can't do that, you know. And you're not getting away as minister. Yeah.
Says the producer.
Yeah, so
there's a reason he says why they're called permanent secretary.
Right.
You don't just shift them around like dominoes on a table.
I know in recent times the government has invested a lot of money in terms of training people to understand the workings of government, so you have the necessary technical skills that you can do it. But if you fall out of favor with the minister, you know, like him telling you to do things, and you becoming a stumbling block, just shuffle you around.
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact that since
they shuffle around.
But if there's somebody who operates as permanent secretary who has been with the prime minister in every ministry that he had. It moved. He or she has moved with him roundabout, and you see, anywhere you go, that person is there with him. Because I guess the person understands him and will say, yes, minister, no, minister, and do the necessary shuffling in order to get the politician policies to be implemented. But we have seen policies that have been implemented that have been detrimental, that if the permanent secretary understand and run this stop and say, minister, that can't, it wouldn't be in some of the problems that we're in a lot of areas. So that is a consideration that you have to take in. How should permanent secretaries be stumbling blocks, or you know? I'm trying to work it through in terms of.
If we are speaking good governance,
yes,
the word stumbling block would never arise in anybody's job description or criticism. A stumbling block, that would mean the permanent secretary whose professional duty is to make things work in the ministry is deliberately frustrating the work of the ministry.
They know a lot of politicians have said that.
It would be a question of competence, because if you frustrate the effective working of your own ministry, you're incompetent. So whenever you start to say like stumbling block, it has now taken on a very political taint, because we're talking about permanent secretaries and they only exist in the world of politics. It takes on a very political taint now. When you say stumbling block, it means you're frustrating the policy of my government, so your government can come in and do better. You are an inside man trying to shift the power into So,
is that a reality on the ground, though, you think? Because some people are politically aligned, you know, in terms of permanent secretary.
Okay, but hear it. It should be presumed that all persons are politically aligned.
Correct.
But we have a constitution that says you don't treat a man with disfavor because of his politics. There's to be no discrimination. I take you over you, or I put away you and pick you because of politics. We encourage persons to vote. We encourage persons to get involved. So you have to presume that the individual before you has a political opinion one way or the other and a preference one way or the other. We are supposed to unite behind the ideals of development and nationhood. So when you put that there, you must be speaking to your team along those lines. And the policies should be such that persons are drawn to enforce and to implement. And a professional person, someone who guards their professionalism and their technical competence, would not perform badly just because of they vote the other way. If not, the country would collapse every time government, well, maybe some might say that's what's happening.
Yeah, but that's what I'm about to say, because...
But you and I know that there are good, hardworking people who, whether they vote left or right, they're going to do their job.
Yeah, because...
And sometimes why the politics will matter is because when you are doing your job and see the weaknesses of what the other side is doing and see their stubbornness or their inability to change and do the right thing, the better things, you can, when your party is in power, formulate policy that has a better result.
All right. Okay.
So there's always that, you know.
I know there's that
you
because
should
you're
be
professional,
using-
you would say
Yeah.
Prime Minister or Minister, we've tried this before.
That
because you have
and
the
it never
institute,
work.
you have the
You have the
institute-
memory.
You have the institutional memory.
Memory.
Can we try it this way? Because
Yes.
when you do it this way,
It
which is
did
what
not
you
work.
should do
That's
in
what
your-
you should do to
you-
contribute
to
to the building of
professionalism.
your company,
But
your
you
country.
see, politicians have big egos, you know.
Yeah, and people
And that is one of the challenges because if all right, sir.
me not gonna accept that the 63 of them out there, not even the 63, the 19 or so that make up the cabinet, that the frustration of all our plans rest on their shoulders. No, I think they're not that powerful and their ego's not that
Yeah, you think so,
overwhelming.
but you
Yeah.
hear them, you hear on both sides.
Yeah.
Because I've been a political animal from I was a child, just watching politics and leadership. I hear them complaining and saying, but this can happen because some civil servant never do it. We hear what you're saying and we're in agreement with you. Have you ever heard that complaint by ministers openly lambasting the civil service, saying, boy, they are not
Yes,
causing
I've heard it in public space, but not personally. None has said it to me because they would have to defend
No,
it.
it's a public
Yeah.
place. I'm hearing it in
But they would have to defend it to me. If anyone were saying to me, it's because somebody to whom you give instructions frustrate your plans. In what world? What authority do you have?
Well,
what we're discussing here, however, is oddly enough, I'm seeing there's a second story concerning the Integrity Commission that you should look at. Mr. Warmington, whilst delivering questions, part of the Oversight Committee in Parliament on Thursday, made what even his own people have said was an improper conclusion or remark to, it seems like it is Mr. Christie he was putting the questions to. And it was about political bias. Warmington asked Greg Christie whether the body was apolitical, and Mr. Christie correctly said yes. Mr. Warmington then asked Christie whether he was politically exposed. Mr. Christie says, I have never voted. Let me tell you something. I have never voted. Now, that's one of the questions that you should never ask about your political, because the Constitution guarantees you against any oppression because of your political views. So for a man to be asking that in Parliament, yesterday, I said that man's treatment of the Integrity Commission, his treatment alone, whether he's effective with it or he's shut down, undermines the standing and yeah. So he asked Mr. Christie if Mr. Christie is politically exposed. Mr. Christie says, I have never voted. Then he asked him, is Mr. Ryan Evans, Director of Corruption Prevention, one of the members of your team? And then he asked about Mr. Ryan Evans having been employed to Dr. Peter Phillips in a political capacity as advisor.
It's what I'm talking about.
Mr. Christie said, if he's asking about the political persuasion of a particular person, that is not my business. Whatever Mr. Christie's fault, you have to love him. He has the audacity. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He has the audacity to give the answers as he should. He said, if that's what you're asking, it is not my business. Correctly said, because the person's politics is not anybody's business. You're free.
Which is a follow-up from what I was speaking about in terms
yes,
of... Yes,
that's why I was reading it as you were speaking. I said, what? Yeah. With decibel levels peaking, so now they're shouting.
We're shouting.
Warmington then said, then why employ him if he's involved politically? You say there's no political bias. He was employed to Dr. Peter Phillips as a political advisor, and it is right here in front of me.
You see where I'm going?
So it was Julian Robinson who intervened arguing that the job description had nothing to do with any of the reports tabled. And anyway.
No, but here is the point.
It's hilarious.
Persons listen, and I want.
So that explained to me why somebody on the chat here has asked the question. If as a former advisor to a politician, you can't be hired in government, why is Anthony Anderson the commissioner of police?
Yes, because
he was the prime minister's political advisor.
Security advisor. So my question is,
how is he the commissioner of police if that is a standard? It's getting ridiculous.
Let me tell you something.
So it's Mr. Robinson. Let me see if the chairman of the committee did anything.
Who is the chairman?
I don't know. For this
when we went, it was what's his name? Edmund Bartlett, who chaired that committee. And I'm just saying to all
committee chairman Edmund Bartlett intervened and cautioned Warmington that he was heading down the wrong road. No, Percy.
Shut your mouth.
That's I never know Percy had this side to him.
No, I'm just echoing what that Brownberg said. Shut your mouth.
Brownberg took it back.
Shut your mouth, Warmington.
She apologized for it.
Shut your mouth, Warmington. Somebody have to tell Warmington, shut your mouth.
So he was cautioned by Warmington.
Mouth disease.
Very good example committee chair Edmund Bartlett has set, because Speaker of the House didn't have that boldness to her. And then he went on to say, I think that information with regard to members of the commission and their antecedents are also part of what, as an oversight committee, you would have an interest in. But I don't want it to be felt that there's any intention to go after any individual, as is inferred by another member, Bartlett said. Committee member Philip Paulwell said the objective of the committee was not to persecute any individual, but to try to make the Integrity Commission more effective in the fight against corruption in Jamaica. He urged members of the committee to conduct themselves with decorum. In a parting shot, Christie said, as far as I recall, it is a constitutional right for someone to have a political view. He indicated that Warmington should communicate his concerns to the commissioners. Speak to the hand. Go tell it to the judge. All right.
No, but this
when we return from the break.
No, but wait. Remember the strategy, people.
Enjoy it a little bit more.
Deny, deflect or discredit, destroy.
Well, you say that is the strategy, and each time you say it, you seem to be making it a rule. So I have to speak against that now. That may be the idea.
Well, that's their strategy, but we're coming against it. We're coming against it because if you can't fight something, if you don't know what they're doing,
Well, everybody know what they're doing, so you need to speak of what is to be.
What we must be.
Every Wednesday we do it. Look like we need to make the declarations every day. We have to stand up over the cradle of Jamaica like it's a newborn baby and speak life to it every morning. Give it the nourishing milk of love and kindness.
I do that every day.
It look like we can't just on Wednesdays bring out the powerhouse in the declarations. Jamaica need it every day. Jamaica is like a newborn baby that might suffer from crib death.
Yeah.
You know crib death?
Yeah, I know crib death.
All right. We are going to be joined by our guest from JPS in a short while, Miss Alison Haynes-Larac, manager of the customer experience, and she's going to be sharing more about our mobile application. This is the My JPS, and this looks like her striding in, looking quite fierce. And she will talk about the ease of reconnection and notify customers about system upgrades that are going to be happening Easter weekend, what you can expect. And she is here looking fierce and fabulous. So we'll take our break for 8:30, and then we come back. Miss Alison Haynes is going to join us on camera and on air and defend and explain what JPS is doing. Please stay with us. Back in a moment.
Veg Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Veg Printers, your best choice in printing.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us on 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Bess100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up Show with Lascelles Butch Chen on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing worth in our maturing years, compellingly defined to educate and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
Hey everybody, Apostle, Prophetess, Dr. Juliet Fagan here. I've got some good news for you. Many of you have asked and God has delivered. Guess what? Join me this and every Sunday, that's right, this and every Sunday evening, 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. Catch me right here on Bess100 FM, that's right, on Friend of a Wounded Heart, an extension of Vision Miracle Church of God. And so on behalf of Bishop Leroy, myself, and all the brethren of Vision Miracle Church of God, I'm looking forward to having you Sundays, 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. right here on Bess FM-100.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Half a tree, 100, half a tree. Bossy, how we do I take taxi star?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Yeah, try and call, cause trust me.
Winters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
Ah, what a relief.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats. Best FM.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. I thought Pastor Percival was doing it because we have a lady at the table with us, and usually, I let the gentleman welcome the lady.
Good morning. Welcome to the program this morning, Miss Laura.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
This is Laura.
Can we just go with Allison?
We were quite excited by the Larak name, so we're practicing it. But welcome, Allison. You are the manager for customer experience. How do you manage JPS customer experience?
Minett, that's a difficult one, right? So we tend to put in things in place that help us to meet and exceed our customers' expectations. So that's what customer experience is all about, managing the interactions that our customers have with us and making the journey a little bit better, look at the pain points and try to improve them.
How long have you been in that position?
Since 2000, well.
More than 3 years?
Yes.
More than 3 years. So what's the most difficult thing about Jamaican JPS customers?
Everybody loves to eat JPS.
Everybody loves to hate JPS.
Yes.
Right.
And even
how you manage that experience? Well,
and as you can imagine, it's an uphill task. I think because we've been around a while, there are some legacy experiences. Customers might not necessarily have had a bad experience themselves, but they share something from somebody else. So
they hear about
right, and they don't give us the chance. They don't give us the chance yet, but we're working.
You're working on it.
Yes.
So how good has your experience been in terms of working on it? Do you think more and more people are understanding that JPS has gotten better?
That JPS cares?
Yes, I think so. Maybe not necessarily believe that we care, but in terms of the experiences that they're having personally,
yes.
I think we're making headway where that is concerned.
So persons, I think the best one could hope to accomplish is for your customer to feel that you're doing your best for them.
Right.
Even if you don't manage to give them exactly what they want, but they see you trying.
Exactly.
Well, I would say through this program, certainly for myself, I've seen the effort, and I commend those who stand behind making the experience more bearable.
Thank you so much, Minett. That's really appreciated.
And I'm a tough customer.
Wow.
I send so many reports to the OUR about JPS.
And we're chiseling away.
Chiseling away at Trevor show of those experiences.
Yeah. Well, all utility providers are using technology to make the customer experience more bearable, and I know that you have that's a big part, app.
Right? A big part for us in terms of using technology and automation to improve the service that we provide.
Mm-hmm.
I think communication plays a big part in any service experience, and what the technology facilitates for us is improved communication. So if you are experience an outage,
yes.
you can get a message, that sort of thing. That's what we're trying to put in place with our automation.
What would you say has been what is the greatest load that has been lessened for JPS through your use of the technology, your mobile application?
I think it's more on the side of the customer in terms of the experience, and convenience. The My JPS app, and you can do business with us anywhere, anytime, at your convenience.
So let me ask you a question. I was recently experienced, but then is it only operational between 9 to 6 that you can actually talk to somebody, 9 to 5? Or it is 24 hours?
And we have several mediums that our customers can contact us.
Right.
We have web chat.
Yes.
That's 8 to 5.
Okay, so I was on the web chat.
Right.
Web chat was kind after hours and said,
right. So web chat is 8 to 5, but our call center is open 24 hours, 7 days a week. Can get somebody. Right
okay,
there.
And that is what has made the customer experience better, you would say?
Not just the call center, but there's several different avenues where you're able to contact us.
So web chat, call center,
email, right?
Email.
And the mobile app, which is anytime. The challenge though is that with the mobile app, you can send a response. It might not be immediate. So you might have to give it an hour or two before you're able to get a response, or a couple hours, depending on the type of request that is submitted.
So what is the most heavily used feature in the mobile application?
I would say our service requests, where customers are able to submit service application. Right.
And that would also reduce a lot of administrative time for the company.
And for the customers too,
yes.
Because going into a walk-in office, it might take a while. You'd have to wait on persons doing other transactions.
So we can request new service,
we can request new service, reconnections, termination, all of those.
And you're able to upload documents?
Yeah, that's how it works. And we would advise that you have the documents ready. Right? So you go in the application and it will tell you, based on the type of service, what is required. Most service application, the same documents are required. So it's pretty standard once you get a hand of it.
Are you finding that the average Jamaican who might be a little technology shy, are you finding that they are using it and you have support to get persons over that shyness of engaging with the?
Definitely. We also have some iCards in the app, which when you click on a particular service, it will break out and give you more information in terms of how to assist you.
So you gotta be literate.
Yes.
It comes slow with reading.
So I remember last year when they spoke about that, we said probably because Jamaicans are very auditory in terms of their communication, oral. If you say the instruction instead of people trying to read it.
Yeah. So we are also looking at some videos with the same kind of instructions. So that would
that's important. Okay. That was our main idea. That something was there.
So no one has given us a video about
it. In terms of doing
so work on analysis for that one. Right. As we talk technology, you end up reminiscing a little bit on what it used to be like before. You could just put a request online. Do you know what it is? So just for those who are not seeing Alison is that young woman. You remember what it was like what was it like to do a reconnection before, and how easy is it now?
Oh, well, I think we've made significant strides where that is concerned. Before, customers would have to make contact to determine the amount for reconnection, go to a payment agency, and then possibly make contact with us again.
Right.
Right now.
And then wait how long?
For reconnections within 24 hours.
Oh, okay. That's your service.
You mean that's not guaranteed standard.
No, but we're talking about the old days.
Well, even before that, it would be 24 to 48 hours.
Right.
Even though our standard right now is still 24 hours, way in excess of
that. You just set it high so you can beat it by a mile.
So the difference now is that once customers pay, once you pay the full amount, the reconnection is actually automatically generated to your account once the payment hits the account. There are different time factors in terms of when the payment is updated based on where you pay. So if you pay at a Paymaster or Bill Express, it might take a little longer than if you pay through the JPS mobile app,
so
which is pretty much immediate, and your reconnection would be more expedited if you use that medium.
So that's an important thing to know, that if you pay at the Paymaster or the third party, so you go to the app and it comes out of the bank account, it just good to go
immediately,
and then the gentleman is dispatched to go reconnect your life.
Not necessarily. So we do have smart meters.
Smart meters, no one needs to be dispatched.
What you don't have to change out of?
Not all, but we are actually on a drive continuously to change. So where there's any new meter change, it would be a smart meter.
Okay, the smart meter from the office, you just press a button and you're good to go.
Right there. Once your payment hits, this meter says okay, and you're back.
Right. Once you see like the telephone, like how you're. Did you get that? Would you want to say wow again, please?
Wow.
Use that in your social.
Wow.
Satisfied JPS customer says. Yeah. Satisfied JPS customer says. Wow.
I love it.
Now you're about to do a massive upgrade Easter weekend.
Yes.
You'll be on duty?
I will. I have to
They're
be.
giving you extra guarantees?
Well, I hope so.
But you didn't walk with any for your friends?
You don't get it yet.
You don't get it yet. You don't bring no guarantees.
Oh, no, that's true. We're like a week off.
Okay.
Yeah, so tell us about the upgrade.
So the upgrade is from April 6th through to
Easter weekend.
Right. So the system will be down from April 6th and be back on the 12th.
Which system will be down?
So it's our customer application system. So that processes all the activities on our customers' accounts, or billing system, so to speak. So we'll be improving the service that we provide, but you have to allow us this downtime in order to get there.
And it will be down continuously, or what will be running to take care of the emergency situations?
So the system will be down. We will not be able to provide any new updates. So in terms of payment information, it would be what is on your account from the 5th. So if you make contact with us, so even though we will have payment, olden era, we would not be able to give you that update because it won't be on the system.
Okay.
Right?
So there'll be no reconnections between the 6th and the 12th.
That is not so. We're going to have a system in place to facilitate reconnection.
Sorry, no disconnection.
No, definitely no disconnection.
Right,
but persons who might be paying now during the downtime, we will still put some mechanism in place to facilitate reconnecting those customers.
Well, that's a good thing because in this digital age where persons are saying, but I paid and this is my number, and you're saying the system is down, at least
so we want to
the customer won't be punished.
Right.
Yeah,
so we want to put that information out there, just to help us to manage the expectations that it won't be business as usual during those times. Those couple of days, but we will be putting measures in place, especially for the reconnections. For activities like service applications, customers can still apply through the app, but we will not be able to process.
Right. Yes. So I would say then that if you know that you want a new service at a particular location, get your information before. Yes.
Right.
Even if you have to just, I would, because for those 6 days, 7, 6 to 12.
So it returns on the 12th.
Yeah,
so the 12th we're good. Yeah.
12. All right.
And it's returning with huge capacity, so it can just flip.
And just
make things even better.
Wow. But because it's a Easter weekend.
That's right.
That you utilizing that downtime.
Right, because usually, the traffic is usually low in terms of persons doing business with us during the holidays. So we're capitalizing on that as well.
Yeah, applying
the grace weekend.
And you don't get disconnected.
So remind me again of the goodies that one will receive when the new system is in.
So we more improve automation and messaging in terms of how we interact with our customers. We will also have more push notifications coming out.
Right. You'll be more proactive in getting information to us.
What is a push notification?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You need to ask when somebody says push, in my head it's pray until something happens. So it's not that you thought.
That's not the one. That's not the one.
So what is a push notification?
All right. So we send messages to our customers via the mobile app. So once that pops up, that is what we refer to as a push notification. So those messaging will have improved push notifications once we have our new system.
I love that. Then people say pushing them. About pray until something happens.
So I have to ask now whether these upgrades will impact both your postpaid and your prepaid service. The prepaid is pretty new.
Tell me, clarify a little bit more.
If I make payments against my prepaid account during those April 6 to 12, will it be automatically reflected on my account?
Oh, all right. So for the prepaid account, your payment would still go to your account because we're prepaid. Right. But what will happen is that for prepaid customers, they're able to see their usage information on the mobile app. You won't be able to see an update. Right.
Okay.
Right. So, but once you top up, your top up will still go on your account.
And it will be reflected on the account itself?
You won't see it.
No, when I'm saying reflected, meaning that
service will continue.
Service will continue.
Because, so you prepay, it won't get a notification because of the downtime. They say, you are running.
But we will not have any interruptions with those.
Oh, wow.
So the same protection applies to both postpaid service and your prepaid service. So the word to those with the prepaid service would be top up on the 6th.
Right. What?
Before
the 6th. So that at least you have put something there.
Right.
Because chances are on the 12th when it pops back up.
Yeah, you might get
a better chance.
I says, you are.
You consume
too much of it. So it won't be something bad. You just pay and you go and they won't disconnect, but when it comes back in, it comes back with a vengeance. They say, you owe us money.
Yes,
and they will lock off your life.
And notice that you really did spend too much time on it because now it's far more intelligent. You know, there's a lot of talk. I won't ask you this, but there's a lot of talk about artificial intelligence being used now to supplement learning and human behaviors and so on and so forth. I'm assuming that the new system is going to be very intuitive.
Well, I can't speak to the AI aspect. That would be IT, but it would be intuitive, as Minett mentioned, to look at patterns, you know, to see how we can, serve our customers better.
Well, that's what you're tracking. Tracking is up.
Big data.
Big data,
Yes,
and that's what it is.
Well, let's see. I don't want to enter into any uncharted waters with you. It's your first time visiting us, and we want you to come back. But we've had a lot of conversations about, digital literacy and the preparedness of the Jamaican customer to participate in the digital economy. And you, with your customer experience, not background, but current focus, are you finding that the average JPS customer is making a greater effort to move with the digital applications? And, as you're going to be pushing things to us, are you finding that the customers are ready for it?
All right, so that's a really good one, Minett. What we'll say is that it depends on the customer segment, because I think the
demographics.
Right.
Okay.
To be honest, there are some persons, in a particular age group who the majority will shy away, but then there are persons in that same age demographic who will excel. So we see persons making an effort, but the true expectation for probably persons over 50, 60.
Really?
Yes.
You mean like us?
Like
the three of us?
Tend to shy away, but we do have persons in the age group who still make the effort. I can tell you as well why I said that, there are always outliers, because we have, when we introduced a program that was pretty much automated, we found that a lot of retirees use it. Yes.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
So even though we might have, a subset that kind of shy away, we still will have persons who actually made effort to use the automated system.
So does it mean then that you are keeping available to those who are a little hesitant some of the manual processes, or are we pushing everybody to sink or swim?
So we push the customers to utilize the automated system, but we do have some mechanisms, fail-safe then, so to speak, where we will be able to provide support. It may be that we reach out to those customers and actually do the processing on the back end, because, and if they go into the office, they will be given a walkthrough in terms of doing the same automated process, but with more support.
So during the period, April 6th and 12th, some of those manual support, full-time services will be running in the background for persons who definitely want to come into.
For the 6th to the 12th, we really would recommend that you just give us some time, because at that time we won't be able to actually provide any support, because we don't have the system. We will not have the system. It's in transition.
So the word on the streets is that between the 6th and the 12th of April.
Offline. JPS is offline.
JPS is offline, and now disconnect it, right? That is important.
And there'll be no outages.
How? We won't have any planned outages.
That's the part I want.
Right? No planned outages. But if you are experiencing an emergency, you can always make a report. We will always be facilitating those.
Okay. And don't try to do any new business during this period, because we can't take it on. We're just focusing on the system upgrade.
Right.
And we'll be good to go after the 12th.
Yes.
So a new one, better and revised.
System once we get back online. it runs
Led
via
by
back
this
online.
customer care lady.
Yeah.
They take good care of us.
Right. So even though, Percival, we're saying don't make any new applications, the option is still there for the customers. Like I said, they can still submit in the mobile app or web portal, but it's just that we won't be able to complete the processing.
I think it is very commendable. And I'm assuming that you're doing this with other radio stations and you're using the media to your full advantage.
Yes, we
so
are.
Jamaicans can understand
Where
what
we
is
are
going
and
to
what's
be
going to
happening.
happen. Yeah.
We do believe we're in communication, obviously. So we believe that good communication matters.
Yeah, and we will also have it on our social media platforms, so Facebook, Instagram, just to advise our customers.
So what are the tips we're closing with now? If you're paying bills or you want to do things, get it done before the 6th.
Right.
But you won't be in any jeopardy during the downtime.
Right. So we will not be carrying out any disconnections during that time frame. If customers do, however, decide to pay for reconnections, we will put mechanisms in place to have the supply reconnected. You can always still make emergency reports if you're experiencing outage or other issue. You can still make an emergency report through the usual channel. So our call center, 188 is called GPS. Right.
But the web chat won't be up because it's a part of this system.
Right. So for the public holidays, we won't have the web chat feature online.
Okay.
Wow.
But on the 12th, everything will be back.
Is this the first such time that they've taken such a long? It's honestly that's a long.
We usually
for 7 days. It's a long period.
So this is a new system upgrade. So it's a total transition. So it takes some time. We've upgraded our system before, but it doesn't happen often. It's like every 5 years or so that we upgrade.
Yeah, this is a big one. Well, I certainly wish you all the best, and I hope that
thank you so much.
As a customer, I will get the better of it.
You will.
When you return.
You definitely
on
will.
the 12th.
You definitely will.
All right, thank you, Alison.
We're not going to see her again, so have a wonderful Easter holiday.
Oh, thank you so much.
Even though you're working.
Yes.
But have a wonderful Easter holiday.
So it's all hands on deck.
Yeah, man, definitely, because we want to make the transition as smooth as possible. So all of us are going to have to be out.
Yes.
It's on 100 years of JPS.
Yeah. We've been around.
Well, you're looking wonderful for 100. I hope I look the same when I'm 100. But no, thank you very much for sharing time with us. Stick around for a little bit if you'd like to.
Okay, thank you so much. Right. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. And we didn't terrify you.
You never terrorize.
No, I put Percy on a leash today. Catch him on another day, he'll just eat you up. All right, so we're going to take our break. Is it time for a break? We have another 2 minutes to go. Let's ask Alison. Let's talk to Alison now. We're not talking to JPS, manager of customer service.
Let's see if I can manage this one.
Yeah, what brought you into customer service?
Oh, I just think I have a heart to serve, honestly. My personal mantra is treat others how you want to be treated, and
That's
customer service allows me to do that.
At the start. So how long have you been at JPS for?
Since 2001.
Wow. You have had a wonderful history there.
So you got married while you were there?
Yes. Do my degrees while I was there. Yeah, JP is my home.
JP. Okay.
Wow.
That is a really...
You see, I tell you, that is a fantastic note on which to end. Well, we are lucky to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah, JPS has sent us some fantastic people.
Yeah,
really.
we have a lot of fantastic people.
Yeah,
there.
and it has humanized, I think, even our listeners are feeling it. That JPS is not just a
it's
company
people
in a dark room,
right.
cutting off your life.
We will cut off your life today and they move in this dark room. So I myself are in this dark room now. We will cut off your life
into the dark with you. No, JPS does have a heart. All right, we'll take our break. We'll be right back.
All right, thank you guys.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. I invite you to join us for the Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ radio program with Elder Kendrick Murray, where we stand firm that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. This broadcast is heard every Saturday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. and again on Sundays from 4 to 5 p.m. The church is located at 3550 Pleasant Valley Road here in Mobile, Alabama, in the United States. You may visit our website at sonofgodlives.org or our YouTube page at Minister K. Murray. Or you may call us at area code 251-300-8812. God bless you, and we look forward to you tuning in to the program.
For discussions on health and education, inspiring interviews, surprise giveaways, your favorite songs, tune in to Bess100 FM this and every Sunday at 11:30 to 12 noon. It's Distinction 411, your weekly college magazine program hosted by James and the Distinction family. Catch you on Sunday.
Veg Print is for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veg Printers, your best choice in printing.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Bess100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up Show with Lascelles Butch Chen on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing worth in our maturing years, compellingly defined to educate and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
Hey everybody, Apostle, Prophetess, Dr. Juliet Fagan here. I've got some good news for you. Many of you have asked and God has delivered. Guess what? Join me this and every Sunday. That's right, this and every Sunday evening, 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. Catch me right here on Bess100 FM. That's right. On Friend of a Wounded Heart, an extension of Vision Miracle Church of God. And so on behalf of Bishop Leroy and myself and all the brethren of Vision Miracle Church of God, I'm looking forward to having you Sundays, 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. right here on Bess FM-100.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats Bess FM.
You know.
Good morning and welcome back. Quite refreshing having that conversation with Alison of the Jamaica Public Service Company Limited, all of 100 years old this year, and carrying out some massive technology-based upgrades to ensure that the customer experience is improved and enhanced. Of course, we never make our guests uncomfortable. May I say that again for the politicians who avoid speaking to us on air?
We want to talk to you guys.
We never, ever, ever make our guests uncomfortable. It's a rule of the house. Our guests are shown love, respect, and appreciation, and we assume that they are persons of high integrity when they choose to speak to us, which you have to be, really, to be welcomed in our circle in any event.
You know, you're talking tongue-in-cheek.
No, I'm not speaking tongue-in-cheek.
You're not speaking tongue-in-cheek?
Not at all, not at all, not at all. You will get to know me a little bit better, Percival.
So it's an invitation.
It's an invitation.
Come sit with us. Come sit and talk to us about the issues.
Will be
Let's see if we can help you
will be
to communicate it out there.
Enriched by the experience. I'm telling you, a lot of times things go unchecked because we don't have the confidence to face persons who we think might challenge us. But I can tell you at this table, we only challenge you to do better and to be better. So
that I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Because some of the times, and people need to recognize in life, some of the time you have blind spot. You don't see. And when somebody points you out, that's why you must be held accountable to say, you know, you're doing that, but there's a blind spot over there. And that blind spot is affecting all of these other things. So let us fix that blind spot, and we're doing it in love.
What's my blind spot?
You know? You can't tell you no, you can't see out of the air.
No, I think my blind spot might be you.
Really, no?
Percy can do no wrong.
Oh, my Lord.
Do not trouble my co-host.
Oh, my
the one
Lord.
when we saw Percy. No.
Oh, Jesus, Father, help us.
He was on a mission.
Oh,
investigating and doing God's work.
Oh, my Lord.
No, but you're right. There are many things which sometimes we're too close to it, or because we know the heart that we carry for the thing, we just cannot see. We don't see it the way an objective, uninvolved, arm's length onlooker sees it. So it becomes our blind spot. Your blind spot don't have to be a point of weakness or something, you know. It can be even
something that's good,
counterpositioned against your greatest strength.
Yeah, and that it's important to understand that. I remember we were talking about marriage, and you guys were saying, don't go no further.
Which the morning when the producer says gonna call your wife?
Yes.
That one?
Yeah. But one of the things I've discovered is marriage is a wonderful institution, but for me it has helped me to grow as an individual, because you are thinking you're doing all of these things, and somebody says, but son, what about you?
That's how your wife remind you.
It's about, and it helps me to grow, to say some of the times I am generous to a fault, meaning and my wife saying, you can't be doing that all the time. What about this and that, you know? So it is a balance. It's a balance. Yeah. It's a growth, it's a balance.
It certainly is the place in which you can, I would say, I don't want to say comfortably grow, because growth is that place of discomfort.
Right.
In and of itself. When you think, oh Lord, if you were to even liken it to like a pregnancy, can you imagine your skin nice and tight, and then 9 months later you've had a balloon type mounted in your body? It stretches and it itches and it hurts. So growth is a process of pain and discomfort. And if you have never heard that before, please remember Minett Lawrence told you on the Morning Connection, you will know you're growing when you are feeling pain and discomfort.
That's true.
It's not in the happy moments when it's all joy and good. So yeah, those moments are good, but you're not growing in those moments. You're just taking a rest. Growth is a place of discomfort. And so marriage, being a place where you can grow, just makes it a safe place to feel pain and discomfort.
And I said
that is my summary.
And I say that
safety is what you're looking for.
Genesis 2:26 comes to mind. Man and woman became one. They were naked and not ashamed. And I say to couples all of the time, this must be your safe place.
Where you can be naked and not ashamed.
Naked and not ashamed, but being vulnerable and open to what the person is saying and helping you and speaking.
Yeah.
So it's that place. It must
has
be a
to be
safe
safe.
place.
Yeah.
With all one preacher says, with all your dirty sit down and the work and all.
Yes.
A person sees it and they can speak to it, but you are free to be that person.
Well, listen, let's take that back. Nobody is to speak about the warts and the warts are a given. And please don't speak about my warts.
Your warts and you don't sit down there.
No, but I said kind of tongue in cheek, but in all fairness, in marriage is not the place to tear your partner aside and say, look at you. You don't want to lose weight. You know, see that so and so. No, that's not the place to do it. I know there are some people who think that freedom of speech and being comfortable in a marriage means that you can really rip into your partner and criticize them down to the bolts. That's not the place. Listen.
I am just saying that you're accepted, warts and all.
Yeah.
And the person, if somebody says something to you, it's not taking nothing that they're trying to destroy, because you have to learn how to receive what the person is saying and know their intention, because the intention is not to destroy.
The heart.
Yeah, the heart is towards you, one of love. Yeah. Because as you rightly say, because some of the time, your worst critic is your partner. Can be your partner. And I say to people all the time, I don't know why we are here, but that person that you decide to get married to can make or break you.
Mm-hmm.
But it must be a place of acceptance, and the person is your greatest man. You can do it.
Go, Minett, go.
Go, Minett.
Go, Percy, go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the couples out there who are facing a lot of struggle, my encouragement to you, remember that marriage as covenant must be a place of acceptance, love, but it must also
safety.
Be and growth.
Listen, man, I just use one word, safety.
Yeah.
And safety is manifested in all kinds of ways.
Yeah.
How your body look, how you speak, your level of education, your motivation, how you handle pain, how you should feel safe. If you're not feeling safe in your marriage.
Yeah, no, something
I was gonna say get out, but
no.
Percy, get Percy.
Not get Percy, but
Percy will counsel you.
No, but
into a safe place.
Today there's a couple that after a series of about 6 or 7. When they came, they were at war. You try at war and joking, and sometimes I say, I need to get boxing gloves, because some of the times you need to say, all right, you think, but no. You've coached them into good health? Yeah. And that I count it a privilege to be able to coach people to say, no man, when you want to love each other, let us see the expression of the love in a different way.
Yeah. And you talk about that as training, really.
Yeah.
We have taken on the task of trying to train, discipling a nation is the mission.
Yeah.
And it means that you have to play a role in bringing to the fore those principles of righteousness and love and honor and respect that will cause persons to check themselves, consider their ways, look at how they're doing things, and be open to doing it in a different way that could bring peace and harmony and prosperity to everybody, instead of some getting fat and unhealthy and others are looking lean and hungry and turning on each other. All right, we've gone far and wide, and you can't believe it's because JPS cares.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see and to hear what's going to happen on the 12th when the system, comes back up and customers are able to both even just see how the system that they're putting in will cope with the many things that were waiting in the pipeline.
Yeah.
The reconnection, the disconnection, the things that need to go to the account and so on. While JPS is running apace with their improvements, we look and we see our own public sector.
Mm-hmm.
Have teachers been paid?
They got
some of it.
They got those part of the story. I don't think it's a complete exercise yet. It has not been complete.
Well, let me tell you, when you understand that computing technology is such that you can run a program effectively that can have this tabulation done, paid salary for countries all over the world in different, and get everybody paid at the same time. How on earth could we be pressing people to settle on wage negotiation, and when you finally get them to do something, you're late in paying them?
Because some people are saying, not even...
We don't have the right programmers, we don't have the right, we don't...
I haven't gone to the programming thing. Some people are saying, not even with normal pay.
Not even right. So it's like you weren't prepared to pay them at all.
No, yeah.
They never agreed that they get no pay. Listen,
that's the thing of heart bad.
And you know, scripture telling to keep the man's wages overnight.
In Leviticus, he said, don't do that.
Don't keep a hard worker's wage overnight. He needs it, man.
It was kind of unfortunate that is what was said. Yeah.
So, I mean, I didn't make heavy weather of it because I think we point the finger at enough things at any given time. So I would hate for those listening to come away with the idea that the Morning Connection is just opposes things.
No, we are just asking them to do better.
Government.
No, we want them to do better. We want them to do better on behalf of our people. Let me tell you something. You remember we spoke to the fact that when Lysandra Harrison says, I can't find it. I spoke to a teacher. And she said, she's gone up many levels in how I feel. Yeah, because they're saying, we as, I know what Victor, we know that. And they're saying, the truth of the matter is we're not better off, And
they were just tired.
They were saying
tired of fighting.
We were not better off, and then when they're supposed to get paid,
you can't even get your normal pay.
And then but I'm saying to them, and I'd love to talk to
Lysandra.
Yeah,
organize it now
to find out why. No, why did you? Because she must have thought about it, prayed about it, and say, no, it's good. Them conscience can't with any section.
You should not pay it any mind. Look away, Percy, look away. No, well, it would be good to speak with her at a time when she's prepared. I know if I were her, I would not want to say anything that would destabilize the mood or the appearance of some kind of laying down of arms, that there's been a truce and teachers are ready to put their shoulder to the wheel again and wait for the next battle. I can understand that she wouldn't want to speak too much in the media right now. But yes, I do admire her for allowing her conscience to rule, to take the position, and leaving the field clear for a practical, let's for a peaceful life kind of decision, which you and I know never works. But sometimes life is a process, You do the halfway thing, knowing that all you're doing is resting a bit before the next fight, because another one is coming soon.
Yeah, but the next fight is 3 years from here.
It doesn't have to be. We have elections in a short while, and promises are going to be made. Because listen, if you don't, my pastor says, not you this time, my real pastor. My pastor says, the trick to being victorious all the time is choosing your battles well.
I've said that many times.
See, you and my pastor are in agreement.
Yeah, because I'm saying the ultimate thing is to win the war. You have to know which battles
to choose.
And which battles.
The other thing that I know, this is from Minett's Art of War. You also pick the theater of war.
Okay.
I determine where the battleground is going to be.
Okay.
You want to fight me over there? That's not where I'm strong.
You know,
My job.
I'm not going to fight over there. That don't make no sense. That's not wise.
Yes,
That's not wise.
No, but you know, there are some people who run to the enemy.
Oh, jeez, man. That's never a good thing to do.
Run to the enemy. Sometimes David ran to Goliath.
Yeah, but he knew what
he had his strategy. So, but there are some people who just throw themselves at the enemy.
Run at things, them never think
I
about
will
it.
choose the battlefield.
They never think about it. They just run gone.
Yeah, because you must consider that if you're in a wage war with the government and the government have the check and you are there panting at it, you are not going to win by going head to head against them over that wage check.
Mm-hmm.
You need to change the government.
Wow. They just talk about that you're not against the government.
No, but anyone who is in a position where you realize that the balance of power is such in this fight that you will not win by going head to head against a person who have a sword while you just have your two long arms there. You have, you're going to say that man is answerable to somebody.
Ultimately answerable to God.
Let me shift my battlefield to where that somebody is.
You know that even a
deep
principle,
strategy.
that's deep strategy, but that's a principle, even in terms of, when you said that, I was just looking at the order. God, man, woman, children, and I say to the woman, if God has said to you, this is how you fight, you don't run out of line and expect God to respond to that, because that's not
the order that he has said.
That's not the principle.
Yep.
And I said, do you even bring greater
condemnation
upon yourself? So, and I do a simple thing with them, and everybody go, really? I say, yeah. Because when you are in position, then you can pressure from below and God pressure in from on top. So the man, I feel the pressure both sides.
And that's why, let me tell you, Percy, I figured it out, and I said, that's why I need to be in good standing with the one who controls the one who controls the one who controls the one.
Yeah.
That's where I'm always looking, okay, you answer to someone.
Yeah. That's important.
Yeah. So, for example, I will not be in a squabble with a child.
Why should I be?
Why would I be in a... But you see adults going
at it all the time because they've lost every sense of authority and where the authority lies and how you deal with things. As there's another person who interacts with them says, you have a situation, go to the authority.
But even then, we're going to go back to this one now because it's just so perfect. Dr. Angela Brown-Burke, who rose to defend something good and allowed herself to be pulled out of position by... She didn't understand that the battlefield is not right there in Parliament with the ones.
The other one.
Yeah. The battlefield on which she was squaring off was somewhere else. And she lost her position by allowing the people in a different kind of game to pull her into the mud with them. Then she had to go and take it back. And you know, others of us now have to pick up the issue and carry it in more worthy style so that it can be recognized. Because by the will of God, Jamaicans will not be tearing at each other because one brown and one white or whatever the country
not getting into that.
It will not happen in this country. We'll move past that.
And we declare that.
We'll not be distracted by those side issues.
And miss it because we're missing the real issue. The real issue, and I say to people all the time, what are the real issues here? What are the issues that are strategic? Because we talk about war, you have to sit and you have to look and say, nah, that's a side issue. That is a red herring. That is a red herring.
Do not follow it.
That is a red herring.
Feed it to the cat. Let the cat deal with it.
So even with the as we go back to the Integrity Commission, some of the things that are being raised are red herring. The real issue is that we need somebody, an institution that is able to be a power check.
Yes, a real constraint on the abuse of power and corrupt behavior. Yeah. We need that. Yeah. And they need to be taken. To me, I love what I'm seeing because we were there trying to make the point that the Integrity Commission does not enjoy the independence that it should have. We were making that point. And they were there saying, no, but it says so-and-so and it says so-and-so. No, because there are so many different ways that you can compromise the independence of an institution without literally giving them a directive to do this or that. Now we see that
all the things at play. It's coming like we go in there and poke something into the atmosphere.
We sure did.
Into the spiritual realm. And now we are seeing the manifestation.
Bearing fruit.
Even in terms of the decorations, you know, you have to understand how God works. We're talking to the principle. Speak to the principle. Speak to the principle.
Invoke the law.
Yes, man.
The law will work.
And then God will.
The law of God is truly supreme.
Yeah.
It will work.
And
so now, you remember you and I were talking, I think, off camera, off mic. Straight up has posed a question. He said, why was the ruling on wholeness sent to Parliament and then withdrawn and sent again? Was it changed? Is that at the root of the problem?
It wasn't changed. Was it?
No, he said, was it changed?
It wasn't changed.
Was it? He says, was it changed? But remember, you and I were talking about our experience, producer and my experience, going to the Privy Council, arguing a case in which the government had not conferred in the proper way authority on the FSC to take charge of the insurance sector. We made the point in the Court of Appeal in Jamaica. We were knocked aside. We appealed to the Privy Council. At the Privy Council, we were searching now to find the gazetted notice that the FSC had in fact been given power by X date. Couldn't find it. Eventually, when we found it, it bore a date that actually predated the Court of Appeal's decision on the matter in Jamaica. Yet, on the occasion when we were before the court, no one from government side had produced it.
Right.
So the Privy Council has made some heavy weather about the fact that the government lawyers, Attorney General's Chamber, ought to have produced this document, which would have settled the matter. It would have shown
once and for all
that the action taken by the FSC at the material time was unlawful because it did not actually have the authority at that date. By the time the gazetted notice was produced, all the damage had been done. And I learned on that occasion that it was not unheard of for the government printing office to produce documents which were backdated. Because there's nobody to tell them. And most times it's harmless. Because, you know, a law is passed, it takes effect on X date, but the document is not printed until 2 years later. When the document is printed, it bears the date of 2 years in the back. Harmless. But on this occasion...
Isn't that not right?
Well, the law takes effect once it is passed in Parliament, and they have done certain things.
But
this time was different because this law in question said it would only take effect on a date when something was signed by the Governor General.
So when did the Governor General sign?
Much later.
So
it hadn't been sent. It had not been sent to the Governor General for signing until like maybe a couple of years after. So the FSC had begun to do work in the industry from the time the law was passed in Parliament, but no one taking note that the Governor General had not yet assented. It can happen, and it has happened. I'm sure it happened plenty of times.
But isn't that wrong?
Yes, it is. But you only know it's wrong. It's one of those things that's only proven in the breach. You only know it's wrong when somebody says, hey.
But it wasn't law yet. So it was, unless the government, you tell me from a legal perspective, we can come back after the break.
Discuss it during the break.
You want to
hear it on here?
You want to hear it on here that people can understand what
all right, we'll be right back.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi star?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, you know, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose a problem and get back your transmission brand new for them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. You hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Yeah, try and call you, cause trust me.
Winters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. I invite you to join us for the Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ radio program with Elder Kendrick Murray, where we stand firm that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. This broadcast is heard every Saturday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. and again on Sundays from 4 to 5 p.m. The church is located at 3550 Pleasant Valley Road here in Mobile, Alabama, in the United States. You may visit our website at sonofgodlives.org or our YouTube page at Minister K. Murray. Or you may call us at area code 251-300-8812. God bless you, and we look forward to you tuning in to the program.
For two. 180, 200. Ready, mama. Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Having trouble getting parts for your Mazda? Maljam Auto Parts is your solution. Find Maljam at the new and convenient location off Upper Walton Park Road at 9 Kingswood Avenue. Maljam Auto Parts, with over 25 years experience, providing all Mazda parts, new and used. Call 923-4389 and 461-1786. Maljam Auto Parts, serving your Mazda needs.
Vegam Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vegam Printers, your best choice in printing.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats. Best.
Welcome back. We are in the final stretch. And yes, you see the Calabar colors in the club surrounding us now as the visitors who are here for champs. Percy is just beaming from ear to ear. Where's your green? I put a mango in front of you.
I know.
Give me your color.
It's in my heart. It's in my heart.
Yeah.
It's in my heart. But yeah. We're just saying hello to a teacher of mine. And Minett said, "Lie, I tell it, what she then."
I would never say that. I would never. I said the two of you must have been the same age.
I just explained to her what was happening.
Clearly a brilliant young woman.
Yes,
of
she
her
was brilliant.
time.
So she's Dr. Elizabeth.
Something.
She was Russell, but she's married.
Yeah. Anyway, she's supporting Calabar because even her nails were green.
Yes.
she's ready for time.
We would only say she would be the only person that we could say that she
is a past student.
Yeah, past student, because she was born there. In those days, they had the staff resident, and she was actually born one of the chaplain, Reverend Horace Russell, or dad. Yes, what?
Okay.
So it runs deep.
Yep.
And she
All
taught
right,
us.
so it's serious about Calabar.
Yeah, man. So.
Nails were in green.
Yeah, but back to where you were at.
Yeah, I was telling you the horror story of going to the Privy Council and discovering that there was every possibility that a document had been printed out of time by the government and just presented.
Yeah, that's all wrong.
Yeah. Well, you know how the Privy Council dealt with it? They just said, I think the lawyer tried to say it was an oversight, that it was not brought to the Constitutional Court that was hearing the case, or the Judicial Review Court. Yeah. We did have some constitutional issues in it, but it was a Judicial Review Court. The Privy Council treated it as a gross oversight on the part of the government to have not produced that. So they didn't say they withheld it. They just said it ought to have been produced. But our counsel in the case said he had the experience and had heard that it's not unusual for them to print the thing later and put the old date on it. So that the reason it wasn't produced when the Supreme Court Judicial Review Panel was hearing the case is because it never existed. But it was created, I think, sometime after
criminal?
No, Percy, you want me to make a judgment like that?
No, I'm saying no. If you
Percy, it's the kind of thing
because I can get into trouble that for backdating documents as a justice of the peace.
Oh yes,
right.
Because you, as a justice of the peace, must know that there are rights could have arisen during the time between the dates, the false date and current dates.
Right. So
you as a JP, but understand, as government making law, they would not necessarily, it is not necessarily true that for every such event, rights would have arisen. Because it's paperwork. You say, oh, this should have been done 2 years ago, put the right date on it. If not, you're creating a false narrative in your own record. So most times you can do that and it affects nothing. It's just happened that this was not one of those times because a citizen was standing before the court saying, the government is doing this to me without authority. We never know that the real reason they had no authority wasn't because they were acting outside of reasonable constraint. It's because they literally had no authority conferred by statute. It would be like if you just got up and decided to carry on like a policeman, but you are not a policeman. It would be an offense for you to try and...
the policeman.
Right.
Or go a prison fee.
Yeah. So when the FSC started to do things in the insurance sector at that time, they had no authority because the law which gave them authority had not yet been put into effect. Oh, it was a huge... That was the moment when we say, yes, we win the case.
And the Privy Council said, no, just a growth over.
The Privy Council said you should have won this case at that point because you had no jurisdiction.
So did he get back his money?
They did a splitting of the baby. They said, I think they didn't want to embarrass the government because at this point now, it left the door open for everybody who had to come up with whatever thing had happened to them during that time. They said, well, the truth is what you were doing, it said you needed a license from this body. It really didn't matter that body didn't have either the authority or the
jurisdiction.
Right. But the main law that says you needed a license was in effect. That's the provision concerning who you should go to.
If I may add, Minett,
yes,
it should be noted that we applied for licenses. We did apply. We did everything that we needed to do in order to be licensed.
If you remember what kept them at the table, and you could see the split in in the panel, one side was saying, well, the law says you need a license. The other one was saying, but they applied, and the people who they applied to really didn't have the power to give it to them. And the other side was saying, but the law says you need a license. If you don't have one, stay home.
No, man.
And remember that you were moving from the superintendent of insurance
to the
FSC. Now, under the superintendent of insurance, when you apply for licenses, if they don't come back to you to say that something is wrong or missing from your application within a certain, it is assumed and you're fine. In this case, that application stayed in there forever.
Over 2 years.
Yes, they did nothing about it. And then the next thing we knew is that we were hearing that the government was going to come at us. They were going to arrest us for operating without a license.
So that's what I'm saying.
They did, in fact, conduct a raid and
listen to me.
I really know, but what I'm saying, but you see, it is in the little small things, you know. You don't take care of the little small things, over time it becomes big sores, and that is what happened.
Yep.
So I'm saying
same FSC we see today,
same place.
The ball with SSL.
And now
same place.
It catch up back in our face.
Yes.
Same FSC.
Yeah.
That's why when I see these things, Percy, it boosts my faith, but I don't leave it there, because if we don't work on the fix at the same time as we are calling out the issues, then it is just going to keep happening. That's all that would happen if you're not working on the fix. It just keeps happening.
It's kind of unfortunate though, because a lot of
to finish Lowell's case, because you'll find it in the record. Lowell Lawrence and the FSC went to the Privy Council to complete that story. What they then did was ask the government side, FSC, well, what would you do in relation to Mr. Lawrence today? And they said, we license him, basically.
Did they license him?
He came and applied and got his license and used it for a bit and then put it down.
Yeah, but
we still have those issues.
I want to point out too. It's the issue of the take care of the little foxes. Remember Jesus spoke about
the little foxes.
Yes. And we have a challenge in our country now, is that the little foxes have eaten up everything. And when we look to see if there's any food left for anybody, the foxes have eaten it up. And that's a problem we're facing. Yeah. Because go back to street strike. Go back to tree strike. Go back to tree strike.
3 strikes you're out.
Yeah. Started then. That again. Now again.
And there's more, I feel, because that's the nature of things.
And that's the nature how you behave and how you are. We can't, Minett. I cry for my nation.
Yeah.
I cry for my nation, because those are the things that affect us as a country. When I this morning, as we're talking about it, and it's a quick read in terms of the fact that we have to take care of those things. Because injustice done to one person is injustice
done to all
of us, whether we like it or not.
And we have to assume that today it's for someone else, tomorrow it's gonna be our time.
And people become emboldened.
Yeah, they with a little
we take a little thing, creeping, and then next day it's all gone. Like what happened in COVID in a lot of countries. Government said, we're doing this for public health. And people say, but you can't do that. And they got sweeping powers. And now they have taken away a lot of things. And we're then going, oh, geez. Father, we pray for your guidance and your wisdom in terms of how we must approach these things. But we stand as watchmen on the walls and we're calling it out. We're speaking to it. But give us the wisdom that indeed we can implement and bring about real change. Because it's affecting all of us. It's affecting all of us.
We're just about there for the morning, and I want to close on a lighter note.
Okay, lighter note.
Just to look at the cartoon. It is Mark Golding saying, I apologize for calling labor rights fools. And then there's Mr. Nigel Clark over the other side saying, no apology from me, but I will give you a linguistic lesson about the term massa. That's funny.
But you see,
That is the light. That is the light.
But you see what has happened though
Yeah.
to Mr. Thing there,
Yeah.
Mr.
Oh.
Clark.
Mhm.
That's a clown's act, you know.
Oh, no, this is like a nightcap. It's not the clown. I think they put him in bed. I think they put him in bed. And there's a letter, interestingly, from Canada. It says, do not be intellectually dishonest, Dr. Clark. Oh, dear, the Gleaner editorial. Percy, all right, it is time for us to say goodbye.
Dr.
Because-
Clark heard again.
Yes, the Gleaner editor has caught up with us, is what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Boy, we know that. I think Mr. Clark will rise to see a better day. Maybe he'll be in opposition then, but he will still see a better day. Thank you all very much. There's a question online which maybe I should try and answer it before we go. Adrian is asking, how's the ownership of JPS set up? And it's just to remind persons that JPS is majority owned by foreign companies. Marubeni, which is a Japanese firm, I think another Korean firm, and Jamaica at 20%. And you know, interesting question you posed there, because the push to use technology in a more beneficial way is very much the way of Japan and Korea, who are powerhouses in the field of technology. Not so much the Jamaican way to use technology to enhance the delivery of service. We use it to confuse and befuddle people. If you think of even the scamming.
Yeah, but that's what we do.
Yeah,
and the injection of technology, as you call it, I was just saying that BBC report, and the major players were calling for a pause and use of AI, because they say there are some things that are coming to the fore that we need to take stock, that we don't run ahead of ourselves.
Be more measured.
In terms of what we're doing. And I said, that's strange. That's strange call coming from the people who are doing all of the investment, all of the innovation. They say, let's pause and take stock of what
that means to say them reach a point already now where they're confused because they're always a few steps ahead of the consuming public. Anyway, have a great weekend, everyone. We thank you for the support that you give us, and we certainly look forward to sleeping a little later in the morning tomorrow. Maybe not all of us, because Percy still have school drop-off.
School drop-off and in the morning.
Still, we say, have a great weekend. Back in the studio, thank you, Lloyd, for piloting us through the day. And Mr. Producer, thank you so much for your services this morning. Percival, God bless you, Pastor Percy.
I often say, walk good, no bucket.
Well, you could also say, God bless you, Minett.
Yeah, but I'm saying, you walk with no bucket, and you know that the blessing of God is always.
When would I buck my toe?
All right, no bucket.
I don't even walk with bare feet.
All right.
All right, take care, everyone. Have a good weekend. Let me look for the link.
Whoa, whoa, yeah, yeah. 1 3 than G. To all the things said we not like it. Them take woman style out of the market. John woman and know what one. Too much confusion. Them beat up the poor taxi man. The youth them get wild. Walk one full little island. Too much injustice situation. We need a change. We need a change. This corrupt system, it needs to rearrange. We need a change. We need a change. A full time now, we turn a different page. When me say change, me mean all kind of ways. Like decrease the tax and increase the peers. Tired for work with just minimum wage. Been too long this tribulation. We have faced it for months and days. You politician, Mr. Big Man, why you want poor people cry tears over the years? We need a change. We need a change. This corrupt system, it needs to rearrange. We need a change. We need a change. A full time now, we turn a different page. To all the things that we not like it. Them take the man style out of the market. Jah know me no know what one. Too much confusion. Them beat up the poor taxi man. The youth them get wild. Walk one to little island. Too much injustice situation. We need a change. We need a change. This corrupt system, it needs to rearrange. We need a change. We need a change. Our full time now, we turn a different page. We need to take a stand. Certain things need to stop. As a quint another get a huge drop. When you hear from the shout, him get killed by cop. It's our next innocent life that make we demonstrate. We cannot live in a this state. The entire place devastate. That's why I just attack the truth. Better youths. Free life on a different angle. Don't get caught in Babylon triangle. No easy, not the concrete jungle. Say it no simple. We need a change. We need a change. This corrupt system, it needs to rearrange. We need a change. We need a change. Our full time now, we turn a different page. Make we turn a different page. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This system needs to rearrange.
Nobody move. What was that? Nobody move. Stop on the drum, boy. Don't move.
The officer don't kill him, officer.
Hey, girl,
We need somebody now to defend the poor. Batman police, everybody I kick down with door. That's our concern, you know. Government and police, civilian and police, taximan and police, everyone and police a war. Who make it reach so far is a while now. I know spot a squad in a lana bar. Police have to run from police. What is this from police? We don't know about the thing bizarre. Right now the force needs CPR. It look like a boom, they are gonna leave us here. Officer, you can't throw gas in a fire. Cause the people are go ball and go fit the tire. Then the church have to go kneel and go in a prayer. When the people are rebel and I said them a suffer. A criminal elements alone and love the law. So why are the majority I call you murderer? Me think we need for you hurry up and solve that puzzle, yeah. Remember our duty is the first of all the law. No matter how it rough, you have to think before you draw. When the people them know it, you then the criminal applaud. So no kick off me door when you come in on me yard. Me know the thing rough, me know it tough, me know it hard. We know say them the youth, them not have no discipline. But police brutality is just a better sin. I really hope you're listening. Something wrong cause everybody ballin'. Vendor and police, soldier and police, stage show and police, soundman and police a war. Who make you reach so far is a while now. I know spot a squad in a lana bar. Police have to run from police. What is this from police? We don't know about the thing bizarre. Right now the force needs CPR. It look like a boom they are going. You went into the force, not so to protect and serve. Your mother never with it, so it mash up her nerve. But you say you're not gonna live it cause you have a concern. About the youth, them way you bust it and some of them not learn. You rough up everybody, no respect you not earn. Extreme tolerance, so for that we all yearn. The people from the gully side, the Gaza strip, the lanes and the tavern. Would I love to see the day when every gun burn. Police get back a button and the poor pocket fat, and then you wouldn't have to worry about crime. They shot at them a free the dollar sign. So make up on no mind, cause we're looking around and we see no few trying. And no kill for kill help in a perilous time. I chill for chill, so find the will. I know this, I know just rhyme. Move the feel from your eye class. Some of the obviously blind artists and police. High grade and police, bad blood and police. Everyone and police a war. Who make you read so far is a while now. I know spot a squad in a lana bar. Police have to run from police. What is this from police? Me no know about the thing bizarre. Right now the force needs CPR. It look like that a wound, they are gonna leave a scar. Officer, you can't throw gas in a fire. But the people are go ball and go fit the tire. In the church and we go kneel and go in a prayer. The people are rebel and I said them a suffer. A criminal elements alone I love the law. So why are the majority I call a murderer? Me think we need for you up and solve the puzzle, yeah. Remember our duty is the first uphold the law. No matter how it rough, you have to think before you draw. When the people them know it, you then the criminal applaud. So no kick off me door when you come in my yard. Me know the thing rough, me know it tough, me know it hard. We know say them a youth and now no have no discipline, but police brutality is just a better sin. I hope you're listening, so wrong cause everybody calling. Hey, government and police, civilian and police, taximan and police, everyone and police a war. Who make it reach so far is a while now. I know spot a squaddy in a Lana bar. Police have to run from police. What is this from police? We don't know about the thing bizarre. Right now the force needs CPR. It look like a they are gonna leave a scar.